Disturbing surveillance video shows the moments after a St. Louis grandmother's mysterious murder, and what's under that blanket that man is seen there carting away is at the center of that case. The grandmother's family tells us that this case isn't as cut and dry as it may seem.
News 4 Investigates Susan Elcoury sat down with the family, who is asking what information is being kept from them.
Off Franklin Avenue, concrete walls and fences surround the Midtown apartment where Carolyn Jenkins, a 63-year-old mom and grandmother, was last seen alive.
They destroyed our family. What do we do now?
Look at this, man.
Inside surveillance video clips capture what St. Louis police call a cover-up.
It's unbelievable.
As two men wheel Jenkins
That's her foot.
out the front door.
They took her right past security.
For Jenkinson's daughter, Carla Smith, this is the beginning of a case with so many turns, she's questioning if her family will ever get the answers they need.
You are supposed to protect and serve. Who can people trust?
August 11th, 2022, St. Louis Metropolitan Police get a call for help. Jenkinson's family says they asked officers to check on her.
No one had heard from her.
This police statement explains officers did a wellness check and found the apartment in disarray with a small pool of blood on the floor. Jenkins wasn't there. 6 days pass without a word from her.
My cousin called and said that they were headed over to her apartment because they just felt like something was wrong.
August 17th, police records show a second call for help.
It turned into an active crime scene at that point. They had found her in the bushes behind the apartment complex.
Smith doesn't think it should have taken almost a week to find her mom.
A body that's been outside for 6 days in August with no air moving. Nobody smelled decomposition.
She also points to this.
Oh my God.
Her family recorded parts of surveillance video they recently saw during a meeting with prosecutors. Police records say video shows Jenkins going into her apartment and David Harvey rush inside behind her. Then several minutes pass before he exits and locks the door. According to police, Harvey goes back with an associate, and Jenkinson's body is loaded onto a dolly.
Oh my God, that's her blanket.
And wheeled outside.
You see him on the dolly taking her to the elevator. He kicks her foot up under there.
In the lobby, video shows a security guard and the dolly passing inches away.
Oh my God. This woman here is sitting here watching.
It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. She never asked, what are you doing? What is that? Nothing. My mother's foot was dragging.
We took those questions to building management.
I was reaching out about a story that we had been working on.
The on-site manager wasn't talking.
At our corporate office, we will not give a
Police records found by News 4 Investigates show SLMPD is familiar with the apartments. They've been called out almost 200 times in the past 3 years.
I do, but if he's upset.
The family has even more unanswered questions about how Jenkins was murdered. The St. Louis Medical Examiner's report found both cause and manner of death undetermined.
We were shocked.
They wanted a second opinion and paid for a private autopsy with pathologist Dr. Stephen Godfrey. In his report, Godfrey put the manner of death as homicide and said he found Jenkins was stabbed in her leg, face, and neck.
We're sick about it.
Confusion didn't end there. The city medical examiner, Dr. Michael Graham, claims Godfrey's report isn't accurate, and the alleged stab marks were made during the first autopsy as part of a standard exam. So Godfrey added a new section to his report, putting the cause of death back to undetermined. We talked to both Graham and Godfrey, but they wouldn't do interviews.
When you have a body that's left out in the August sun, that's going to change everything.
Dr. Jane Turner is a forensic pathologist. We took the reports to her.
The first examination.
She explained that an undetermined finding isn't common, but can happen.
Oftentimes they involve individuals that have undergone decomposition or skeletonization because you don't have much to work with.
She also said if a medical examiner makes a cut, it's best practice to note it in the report.
You never know when there's going to be a second autopsy, and something like this can create some confusion.
For a family who just wants answers, I mean, in a case like this, where do they turn?
In a case like this, it's going to be dependent upon police investigation. That's all that's left.
Police arrested 72-year-old David Harvey, charging him with several felonies, including murder. Turns out he's Jenkins's ex-boyfriend and neighbor living only a door away. He's also no stranger to police, convicted of a list of felonies dating back to the 1970s, including burglary and assault. What's more, Harvey faced murder charges before. In 2015, he was accused of shooting and killing a pregnant woman. Ultimately, the jury found Harvey was not guilty of murder, but did convict him with multiple gun charges.
He is a danger and a threat to the community. Why was he out?
As for the associate police claim is seen in video helping Harvey after the murder, police say he's 73-year-old John Day, another neighbor of Jenkins. It took more than 7 months for him to be charged. Police records News 4 Investigates found say Day admitted to assisting with removing and disposing Jenkins's body.
We're terrified that it's just going to get swept under the rug.
For Carla Smith, it's leaving more uncertainty, and with it, fears.
No one will ever know what happened. No one will ever know the true story.
My God.
That's what we're terrified of.
Police aren't commenting or giving much clarity. It took some back and forth to get this. It's only part of the police report with just basic information. Notably missing is where officers and detectives explain what they found. The department claims it's still an open investigation, so that public record is closed. We're going to keep asking what happened and why it took a second call 6 days later to find Jenkins. Susan El-Khoury, News 4 Investigates.
News 4 Investigates also learned the Metropolitan Village Apartments, where this happened, is partially paid for with your tax dollars. It's federally subsidized by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. They wouldn't comment on what happened and said it takes the safety and security of residents very seriously. You can see their full statement inside this story on the KMOV News app.